What's up, Mission City Church? Pastor O here, and I want to just take a minute before we jump into an amazing video to take you on a journey and just to invite you to join me on that journey as we look back over the last 5 years, that all that God has done, the miraculous things that the Lord has done. Man, we want to just declare together, to God be the glory. Man, He took us in a place where we had nothing, and today has blessed us so much, not with just space and places and buildings, but with you. And so, man, let's celebrate together as we are in our 5th year birthday celebration, and let's join in this journey together as we celebrate the Lord.
What's up, Mission City Church? So exciting to be able to celebrate 5 years with you guys. So happy that you're here doing ministry. Just seems like yesterday Pastor O was bringing up teams from North Carolina to help us do missions work here in the state of Vermont. And I never will forget saying, man, I really see that God could use you up here. God could use your family up here to reach a lot of people with the gospel. Would you be willing to come? And he just kept saying, I'm not sure. Danielle was ready right from the beginning. So we can obviously see who the spiritual one was in the family, but thank God that Pastor O and his team said yes. It's just amazing to see what God has done through putting that yes on the table. I look forward to seeing God do so much more in the days to come. So many people have been reached with the gospel and equipped to go and share. It's just awesome. Thank you guys for being willing to serve, and I look forward to the days to come. Praise God for Mission City Church.
Yeah, Heath here from Pinnacle Church. I'm so excited about the 5-year anniversary of Mission City Church. It's just been such a blessing to see what God's doing there. I remember back when Tim first came and told me that he was going to be going to Vermont, we were praying and looking for that person, and Tim was really wrestling with it. And I'll never forget the day. I thought he didn't know exactly how I was going to take it, and I looked at him and said, well, we got to send you, man. And the rest is history. And we're just so excited. We're so blessed. You guys are rocking it up there.
7 years ago, I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and had a leader sitting across from me, kind of confused while he was at a training when his church planter didn't show up. And I just looked back casually and said, well, maybe God's asking you to plant the church, and that's why you're here. Well, after a couple days of complaining and working through this training and hearing me say 10 times, well, maybe it's you, this leader gave me every reason why it shouldn't be him and asked a million questions on church planting. And the last night while we were sitting together, I just looked at him and said, you know what, man? You just need to stop talking and go ask God what you're supposed to do. Well, happily, he went into his room, locked the door, talked to Jesus. And 5 years later, we're now celebrating what God has done in Rutland, Vermont, because of one man's obedience. Tim, thank you for praying and listening to the Father. I pray you continue to do that in your spiritual journey. Blessings.
And Dorcas and I volunteered together at Pinnacle Church doing some of the administrative stuff. And there was a particular day, I'll let Dorcas tell that part, when Tim came to us and he just knew that he was supposed to move to Vermont.
Yeah, we were in the office area upstairs at the church, and Tim came up, and it was just us two, and Tim was like, I just heard this message, I just heard this sermon, and I just, we've got to go to Vermont. I feel like Danielle and I, we need to just take our family and move to Vermont. And so very passionate, like very real at that moment, like he knew, and it was really cool, very cool. I think, I got chill bumps. I'm sure Anjanette got chill bumps. Yes. It was just one of those moments, and of course at that moment I lost it. I started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been kind of praying for, is just to hear that somebody's going, because I really felt like we were supposed to be here as well. And then not long after, it was like, Keith and Anjanette sort of, it happened very fast.
Rutland City Church's Pastor O here. Good Sunday morning. Man, I'm pumped. It's another day that we get to come together and worship Jesus, and I'm excited about today. Last week we kicked off a series called Believe, and I hope you were here, and if you weren't, man, make sure you get here today. Week 2 in that series is going to be so detrimental to our church, but ultimately to your friends. You see, sometimes we'll take our friends out for dinner, or we'll have our friends over for dinner, or we'll go on trips with our friends, but we'll never share with our friends the greatest truth, the greatest message that is ever known to man, and that's the truth and the message of Jesus. And so today, we're going to believe God for our friends. Week 2, you were here. We gave out these bracelets last week, really cool bracelets, believe. And you want to get yours because we said in 2016, we're going to believe God for our future, our vision, our direction. And we talked about that last week. And this week we're going to believe God for our friends. And so forth goes on the next few weeks. But this year is the year. This is the year we're going to believe God for big things, where He's going to fill the building twice. We're going to see over 200 come to our Sunday morning experience, where we see we're trusting God for 150 salvations. Just many things that we're trusting God for.
I want to say happy anniversary, Mission City Church. Congratulations to you, Pastor Tim and Danielle. Love you guys. I remember 5 years ago. Can you imagine 5 years ago hearing about this bald and beautiful pastor that had moved he and his family up to Vermont to start a church? And I was so excited about it that I wanted to be a part. I wanted to plant a little seed. And so we sent some money up there for your sound system, but who cares about that? I am so proud of you as a church. So proud of you, Pastor Tim and Danielle, and your kids. Man, what God is doing is amazing. Don't tell me what God can't do, because we've seen what God can do, and we got a lot more to do. Love you guys. Have a great day. Happy anniversary.
Hey guys, we're the Vests, and we moved up in August of 2015. It was me and Meredith, and we had Creed and Salem at the time, but since then we've had now Graham and Ethan. But I remember after we finished seminary, we moved up here in August, and the first thing we got to do was help do the construction of our new space in the mall at the time, and we got to move in finally after we did all kinds of framing and painting and sheetrock work and demo work and all that. Finally got to move in October of 2015, and it's just been an amazing journey since then.
Lord Jesus, now today, in the midst of a building that celebrated death, it's because some of you today need a life. Offering life to you personally, to me. He's saying, if you're the only one, I will die so you can.
What up, Rutland City Church? Pastor O here. I'm excited that today you have joined us. You are in the crowd today. You are here celebrating 2 years as a church. And man, this week we just sort of began to reminisce about all that has taken place. And as I sit here in my truck, I'm reminded of how this church, the dream started. I remember the day I took a notebook, a pen, and a Bible, and I went on a journey. And that day, I remember like it was yesterday. It was cold outside, windy. I remember my plan was to fast and pray and just really to say, God, show me for sure that you want me and my family to just leave where we are and go and move to Vermont and plant a church. And I remember I went on the Parkway of North Carolina, the Smoky Mountains, man. Breathtaking views, amazing time alone with God. And I remember I took this notebook, I took my Bible, and I started on that journey. And what happened that day, I'll never forget. Matter of fact, I won't forget because I wrote it all down.
Hey church, I'm Jake Stone.
And I'm Laura Ashley Stone.
And I'm the campus pastor of our Bennington location, and we, along with an amazing group of people, get to lead our church's vision down in Bennington, Vermont.
Jake and I moved here about 6 years ago, and little did we know that God was going to place us in such an amazing church.
Yeah, and so just remember, this weekend as we're celebrating 5 years, you're also celebrating 2 years of having a Bennington location in southern part of Vermont that's helping to lead out the vision that we all are a part of as one church.
Behind me, construction has started on our new Senior Equipping Center. Man, I just want to remind you, first of all, let me say this. Let me thank all those who have come out this first Saturday as we have started the construction phase of our new Senior Equipping Center. And the second thing I want to remind you is every Friday and Saturday for the month of February, we're going to be here working and getting this Senior Equipping Center, all the framing done, a lot of the other prep work done for the other tradesmen to come in. Man, I'm telling you, I've never been more excited to see walls come up, rooms begin to be developed. And with all that, man, I'm excited about the future. God has given us such an amazing vision for the next 10 years.
Mission City Church. I'm Chris Gepner from Riverbank Church. I'm also one of the board members there and overseers at Mission City. And I just wanted to congratulate you on your 5 years. What an amazing accomplishment. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your pastor, Pastor Tim. You guys are doing amazing work in Vermont, and the best days are ahead. But let's just take a minute and celebrate what God has already done these past 5 years. It really is a miracle. Mission City Church is a miracle of God, and I'm so proud of you. God bless you guys, and I can't wait to hear the stories of the coming weeks, months, and years of how God does amazing rescue work there in Rutland, Bennington, and beyond.
Sitting with a retired missionary couple at a dinner, I asked them, hey, what is it that you did for your years? And they talked about bringing missionaries from the South up to the New England and having them prayer walk over all of the cities. They asked what I did, and I said, I work with church planners. And they said, tell us a good story. And I told them a story of this young church planter in Rutland, Vermont, with this Big O as their leader. And as I shared the story of the people that came to Christ, especially the first year, and the lives were changed, and the establishment of what God was doing, the missionary couple began to weep. And not just a little crying, I mean like embarrassing crying. And as I watched them cry, the wife said to the husband, it wasn't a waste. And when I said, hey guys, what's going on? And they said, we sometimes wondered whether all of these years of prayer walking made a difference. But when we prayer walked Rutland, Vermont, almost 20 years ago, we thought it was one of the most spiritually oppressive places and that we had ever walked in New England. And we said, if God can plant a church in Rutland, Vermont, he could plant a church anywhere in the USA. Well, I was here to tell them that not only had God planted an amazing church in Rutland, Vermont, that church was going to continue helping churches all across Vermont, New England, and the United States. Thank God for people who prayed for you long before you were there, Mission City Church, and thank God that you will be praying for others in the future.